Good evening, and thank you for thank you for joining us today for our evaluation pitch. So here is a photo of our beautiful team. Unfortunately, today we won't have the time to introduce ourselves one by one, but be assured that you will meet everyone throughout the pitch because we'll be presenting different parts. So as Julia mentioned, just some housekeeping rules for today's speech. Yeah, just thank you. So some of the best practices throughout the pitch. So please keep yourself mute just to avoid any background noise and disturb the speaker. If you want to ask a question, please do use the raise hand option, or you can also type your question in the chat box directly. We'll take note of it and we'll be answering it during the Q&A session at the end of our pitch. And as Julia mentioned, in case you were not here today, we'll be recording the session and we'll be putting the session on YouTube. So if you're not comfortable with you being on the video, please don't hesitate to turn off your camera. And so a quick introduction about Leading Lights and how Leading Lights was created. As all of you may know, all participants from the team are participants of Transformative Leadership in Action. So a 7 months action-based learning program where participants co-designed a refugee-led project. And this project was organized and offered by Same Skies, an NGO registered in Australia, Switzerland, Malaysia, and Indonesia, and whose mission is to promote global citizenship through collaborative leadership. And so in our team, we have 7 participants, refugee participants living in Pekanbaru, Indonesia, and also 5 international participants living in South Africa, Cameroon, Bali, and Malaysia. And then at the end of this program, Transformative Leadership in Action, we created our project, Leading Lights. We are now a community-based organization, and our project aims to establish a bridging educational program where refugee children are given the necessary knowledge and tools to be thriving learners when joining public school in Pekanbaru, Indonesia. We'll be going and diving deeper in our project details. So I leave the floor to my friend Omaira.
Hey, lovely friends. So here in this slide, we go with our project mission and vision. Our vision is to establish the right set of circumstances for refugee children to get their education through skills development and to be able to spend their time for useful tasks of learning while they are waiting in the host country. Because in this modern era, every parent wants their children to get education and have a bright future. It's their right to be educated, and education is the only weapon to help yourself and your community on the way towards success. And our project vision is that we envision that supporting, collaborating the refugee children toward education and convey them to their rights to get education is a joint responsibility, where each of us have to try our best for our refugee children to educate them and to instate util community members in our near future society. And we can just make it happen by starting to support and encourage our children as much as we can do, as a friend, as a guider, as a community member, as a parent, because education is a wealth. And let's grant our children this gift through advertising them about the importance of education. It was all about from my side, and now I hand over it to my friend Melly. Thank you.
Yep, I guess Ismail is not in here anymore, so I'll take over for him. I'll just replace him for this slide. So yeah, overall goal, like Nina mentioned already a bit just now, what we are trying to do is to bridge the gap between the refugee community and the local community. We would like to help the children to have a seamless transaction to go to the public schools in Pekanbaru. And our project objectives, we are targeting right now, we are targeting 50 refugee children from 7 to 14 years old to participate in classroom activities. They feel comfortable, they feel included, they feel accepted in the public schools, and that we are targeting to achieve by October 2022. So that's in a year's time. Yeah, so that's it from this slide, and I'm passing on to my colleague Gede in Bali.
Okay, thank you. So I will present the activities that we are going to do in this project. So our first activity is providing preparatory classes. Yeah, since 2019, the Indonesian government has already opened public school for refugee children. But the situation is when the refugee children joining the public school, they face challenges. So mainly because they don't understand the Indonesian language, which is Bahasa Indonesia. So as the impact is they cannot understand the lesson because they don't understand the language of instruction. And they also face difficulties in socializing with their friends, with their teachers. So as to tackle that challenge, we as a team, Leading Lights, want to provide these preparatory classes to upgrade their knowledge and speaking skills in Bahasa. So our aim is to make the refugee children to be well prepared to join public school, and they are able to not only understand Bahasa, but can use Bahasa as a means of communication. And for our second activity is to organize extracurricular activities with local community through futsal, art and crafts, etc. So what we are aiming is we not only want to provide the class setting program or project for the refugee children, we also want to bridging them, the refugee children, and with the local communities. And we believe that during this process, the language exchange will occur. So because we believe that to learn language, it's easier for us to do the interactions with the native. So instead of only doing that in the classroom. So those are our first and second activity, and the rest of activity will be presented by my friend, Hayat.
Thank you, Gede. From the interviews we had with the local community, we found out that they do not have any information about the refugee background. So we plan to conduct some events and workshops and raise awareness among the local community about the refugee background. And since refugee children are not able to speak Bahasa Indonesia and the local teachers are not able to speak English, so we are trying to fill this gap in two ways. First, we are trying to teach Bahasa Indonesia to refugee children. And second way, we are trying to facilitate English classes for the local teachers, so they can be able to communicate with each other in an easier way. Because of a pandemic, our activities will take place offline, but we will see if the situation gets better. We'll have some activities. One of our activities is homework cafe, where we gather the local children and local refugee children together and assist them with their homework. And also we'll facilitate transport for those children who are located far away from our activity location. Thank you, and I will hand over to our colleague, Asia.
Thank you. So here, as you can see in this slide, it's about our social media pages, Leading Lights social media pages on Facebook and Instagram. And our social media, you will get to see our project plans about our pitches whenever we are going to have a pitch, or our upcoming event will also be updated in our social media pages. And also, as you can see that our team members have already introduced themselves individually there. As you know, it is our crowdfunding campaign page as well as next I'm going to present to you about our campaign. Here's our Chuffed campaign page. What is Chuffed? Crowdfunding is a way for people to raise funds online for their project, and Chuffed, which is a great platform to promote a campaign for crowdfunding and easy to use as well. Our campaign title is A Brighter Future Through Education. Leading Lights is promoting education as a basic right, as basic human right by establishing a bridging educational program where refugee children get prepared to be thriving learners in public school in Pekanbaru. Our campaign duration is to 30 October, and as today is 3rd of October, so we have 27 days left for our campaign, and in these 27 days, our target is to reach 3,630 Australian dollars. And then we are going to the link to our official Chuffed page. I'm happy to announce to you that today marks the official launching of the crowdfunding, and it will run for 4 weeks. The budget of Australian $3,630 will support us for the next 6 months, and the breakdown as follows. As you see, we have already collected 930 Australian dollars as of today. I kindly ask you to help us out. A small donation of 5 to 10 Australian dollars will already make us a difference. If you cannot donate anything right now, that is fine. We understand, but you could help us by sharing our project to your other friends and ask them to donate. We really appreciate your support and thank you. Now I'm going to hand over to our colleague, Jessica.
Thank you so much, Asya. I will quickly give you a little bit more of a personal insight of what we went through as a team in the last 7 months. And it was really a very great journey, and we are sharing some reflective moments that we had looking back on the journey. So in terms of the team building, even though you wonder now why this is a bullet point, because we are a great team, we definitely became friends and we support us through different situations as well. For us, it was just always such a pity that we could never meet in person and that we could engage and become friends and team members more easily or quickly, because I mean, a lot of you obviously know how it is to engage over Zoom. It takes a while and there are some challenges that are included in this way of working. Even though we also said it is just such a big privilege that we met online, because that really allowed us to become a very diverse team from all sorts of backgrounds, and that we could connect in a very special way. And then another challenge for especially those who were not based in Pekanbaru was to really imagine the place, so where the project is going to be based in, and also to understand the context thoroughly. Obviously, we had best insights through our participants that are based in Pekanbaru, but sometimes if you don't see and smell and you be part of a place, it's hard to grasp the context immediately. Then yes, we all know the given circumstances with the COVID pandemic also put some different challenges on our project development. So obviously some of us, we faced health challenges, or also for the family or friends that were involved in the political influences, for example, like the Afghan crisis, which just saw that this was a big emotional burden for us throughout the project and the program. And yeah, so we just had to deal with that. And last but not least, for some of us, electricity and access to Wi-Fi is not given at all time. So even though that was the way that we could connect as an international team, sometimes people couldn't attend meetings or we weren't really a part of some of the events or activities that we planned. Then another reflective moment is on our pitch attendance. So looking back, we always just wanted to have more people involved at our pitches, obviously. And for us, it was sometimes hard to reach out to also the local community and the international community to really rope them into our online and remote events, which is also understandable because on one side, maybe not everyone has the access to Wi-Fi or enough data to join these events. And on the other side, maybe people are just absolutely tired of sitting in front of the computer and attending Zoom meetings, which is also understandable. And then the second part of the reflection is we thought we might share some potential risks that we still see for our project implementation phase. And yeah, it's kind of a given one that the remaining uncertainty about the reopening of schools is still a risk for us, because even though we can adapt, because now we said we're going to start off with online activities, but we can also move that to offline activities again. But that includes that we have to adapt and be flexible at all given time. As my colleague Gere also mentioned, the Indonesian Department of Education is giving or providing seats for refugee children to enroll in public schools, but that might change, and there is the remaining risk that there are fewer places for refugee children to enroll in public schools due to a change in policy. Yes, so thank you for that. I hope you got a little bit more intimate picture of how our journey was. And now we would love to show you some of our teaching activities that we would like to provide, because we believe that the language of instruction is definitely the key to become an active learner in a classroom. And our lovely teacher, Asia, is going to walk you through the activity that we prepared for you.
So yeah, here we have prepared some activities of Bahasa class in a playful way for you. This is how we want refugee children have to be prepared. These are some sentences in I will say it in Bahasa as well. And the next slides will be with the blanks where you will have to fill in the blanks with these sentences. So you have to hear clear, you have to focus, and you have to hear clearly, because the pronunciation is a bit hard. It might be hard for you. So hello in Bahasa is halo. How are you? Apa kabar? I'm good or great. Saya baik or sehat. Good morning or good afternoon. Selamat pagi or they say afternoon sore or selamat sore. I have a question. Saya punya pertanyaan. Can I drink some water? Bisa minum? Close the book. Tutup buku. Open the book. Buka buku. Open is buka and the book is buku. It's kind of complicated. So I will repeat once more. Hello. Hello. How are you? Apa kabar? I'm good or great. Saya baik or saya sehat. Good morning or good afternoon. Selamat pagi means good morning. Selamat sore means good afternoon. I have a question. Saya punya pertanyaan. Can I drink some water? Bisa minum? Close the book. Tutup buku. Open the book. Buka buku. And the next slide, I will randomly pick someone from audience, and you have to fill in the blanks correctly. So here I'm going to pick someone. Let me check. David. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Was that Buka?
Yes, correct. Wow. Yes,
that's the only one I know.
Buka, wow. It is great. Buka buku means open the book. Wow. And the next one I would like to pick Marisa. Marisa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the blank with Salamat. So what do you think it is?
Selamat pagi.
Pagi. Wow, great. Good morning, which means. And third one, I would like to pick Sharon. I'm afraid if I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Is it me?
Sharon is, I don't know. I'm afraid if it's Sharon Low.
Yeah, Sharon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, so I was not listening earlier.
Oh,
So
so
sorry.
it will be hard for you. Okay, I will pick another one.
Sorry about
Tracy?
that.
It's okay, it's fine. Tracy?
Okay, saya punya pertanyaan.
Wow, great. That was awesome. Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was great.
Yeah, thank you so much, Asya, to give us a very short demonstration about some of the activities that you can do online. And for us, it was really important to focus on instructions in the school, because that's some of the first sentences that the children really have to understand, but at the same time that they can express some, let's say, physical or social needs, that they can ask if they can drink some water. Or another very famous sentence is obviously, I have a question, or can I go, or may I go to the toilet? But we didn't include this one here. So thank you so much. And so now we're moving to our Q&A session, and we really invite you to give us or ask us many questions that you would like to ask about our project, about maybe also our journey, or whatever is on your mind. Please feel free to speak, and then I will assign the questions to some of my friends of the team.
Jessica, I have a question, if that's okay.
Yes, what is your name? Sorry, I'm trying to
Tracy.
find you. Oh,
Tracy.
Lovely,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, everyone. Great presentation, really informative. I love the planning of your project, particularly the idea that you plan to involve also involving the local community to a great degree, and also benefits to the local community in terms of the English classes for the teachers. You did mention in the possible risk, Jessica, about that the refugee policy could change with regard to refugee children being able to access the local schools. I guess as far as I'm aware in Indonesia, that there is kind of the I wouldn't say federal, but on the national level, there is the policy that, yes, in theory, refugee students can go to school, but in practice, the education departments are very decentralized. So it's very much on a kind of a district by district basis. So I guess I'm just wondering if you have at this point as yet reached out to the Pekanbaru education authorities, and if refugee students have been allowed into schools in Pekanbaru before, because I know in Makassar they are letting refugee students into schools, whereas in other areas they aren't. So I just wonder what the situation is in Pekanbaru at the moment.
Yes, thank you so much for the question. I am handing or giving this one to Reza, because he's based in Pekanbaru and knows best what's happening on the ground. Reza, are you here?
Yeah, thank you so much, Tracy, for your lovely question. Since 2019, as our friends mentioned, that Pekanbaru government, the Ministry of Education in Pekanbaru already confirmed that the refugee children can access the public school. Okay. Of course, only elementary level at this moment. So since 2019 until this moment, It's the refugee children, the early age, they can access public school.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So at the primary school level, at the Sekolah Dasar, and at the SMP, or just the Sekolah Dasar?
I am not sure if I be familiar with that.
It's the primary school. Sorry, the primary school level,
primary,
or
yeah.
just primary at this level? Okay.
It's primary. It's primary level.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. That's great. Yeah.
If
I
may,
can add some numbers also about what Tracy's question was about children already going to school, and how you also plan to target some of the kids who are already enrolled and also some of the kids who are not yet enrolled. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit so that Tracy understands a bit better what the situation is, because I know that Tracy knows in other areas in Indonesia quite well. So Pekanbaru is a bit of an exception in my opinion. So maybe you can describe a little bit more so that she understands also how you're trying to target different groups of children.
Well, sure, why not? At the moment, according to our data that we have gathered, it was announced that 104 refugee children already enrolled in public school.
Great.
The target number that we consider for our project to include in our project for public school is 25 refugee children. So this is the number. In total, it would be 129. Yeah, 129 is refugee children in public school. I guess there might be some feedback or additional notes from Mr. Eric, UNHCR officer in Pekanbaru. Please, Mr. Eric, you want to add the additional point, or you have a question in regard to current discussion?
Hi everyone. Hi Reza. Thank you so much. Just want to add a little bit information from your explanations that it's true that there are around 104 refugee children can access the public school, specifically primary school or SD Sekolah Dasar in Pekanbaru city and or the Riau province. So there are several refugees outside of Pekanbaru city actually, and in total around 100. And actually the problem is that if you want to be enrolled in the SMP or the junior high school in Indonesia, the refugees need to have a result from the national exam. But to join or to take this national exam, they need to have the NIK or the Indonesian identification number. But until now, there is no specific policy from our government about this. So that's why it's quite difficult for the refugee children who already graduate from the primary school to enter the junior high school. And we are trying to solve it. As you already know, I think that since 2019, the middle of 2019, there is a circular letter already from our government, the Indonesian central government, that refugees can access the public school. But there is no specific information, explanation on this letter about the NIK or the national exam or the special number to take this national exam. So it's still challenging for now and still under discussion with our government, with the Indonesian government. But fortunately, we here, UNCR, are able to work together with one of the universities in Pekanbaru. The name is Universitas Islam Riau, and currently there are 5 refugees are enrolled in this university. So we are lucky that the migrations in Pekanbaru, and also the university give the access for these refugees to be enrolled. And one of them is Humaira here, one of our participants.
Yes, I'm one of those lucky people.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, Humaira.
Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brother Eric.
Does that answer your question, Tracy?
Yes, it raises lots more, but I won't. I'll ask them another time. So yes, it does, and it's fantastic that they're pursuing that policy, well, not actually enforcing that policy in Pekanbaru, and that there are already 104 kids going to the local schools is wonderful news. So yeah, that's great to know, and also is very excellent for your project moving forward as well.
Yeah, also thank you,
It's
Eric.
part of the reason, Tracy, why we selected Pekanbaru as a location for this third round of transformative leadership in action, because not just the local government, but also the local community seems to have a lot of willingness to collaborate and to support refugees, even if maybe there's a bit of a lack of understanding and all this, but it's also very interesting and exciting for us as Same Skies to do a project there, because the context is a bit different to what we are used to in Cisarua and other areas, Jakarta also. So let's hope
it sounds
that
like
this
there
will
is
be the
many
start of a great project.
Yeah, and it sounds like there is many refugees enrolled in university there as there are in Jakarta, which is, there's always this kind of perception that people need to go to Jakarta to have a chance to further their education. So it's great for the community in Pekanbaru that that's not the case.
So I see there are some messages in the chat. I'm just quickly. Okay, Nina, you already. Good. Then I see a question from Izam. How the kids going to school? Maybe you can quickly elaborate what you exactly mean with this question. Are they going to school at the moment? Are the schools open? Or
how they go to the school? They have got transport or someone taking them? Thank you.
Okay, I understand the question now. Thank you. So maybe who can answer that? Maybe Ismail, are you feeling confident to answer this question? Can I hand this one over to you?
Yeah. Okay. As you know that all the world, or the whole world, is going through the restriction of COVID pandemic. So the same thing is happening here, right here in Pekanbaru. So for now, we are planning to conduct our classes online, and later, when the life goes back to the normal, we will do our class face to face. But for now, we are planning to do it online. Yeah.
And yeah, also maybe to chip in there. So once we can start with offline activities, and we hope we can do that anytime soon, as soon as the pandemic allows it, we would like to facilitate the transportation to the educational facility. With that being said, we are aware that there are different accommodations and that the children have to travel a certain time to a school, and that this is or can be an issue for some of the families in terms of bringing them to school or walking with them to school, or bicycle, or maybe it's very, very, very hot, or it's rainy, or whatever. So it's definitely also, you see now activity 6, we would like to facilitate that as well, but because we can't say at the moment where the educational facility exactly is going to be, we don't have this, the final plan just yet, but this is definitely in the pipeline, and we see this as a one of the main issues that were also raised in our assessments, that some of the parents are very worried about the transportation, especially. Yes. Does that answer your question, Sam?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Let me hop back. Sorry.
We do have another question just in the chat.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, I may have missed this in your earlier presentation as I was a bit late. If positively received and impactful, what are the plans in place for sustainability beyond the 6 months fundraiser?
It's a very good question. Thank you. Nina, do you feel confident to take on this one?
Yes, I do. Thank you for the question. So yeah, indeed, for now, our plan was to fundraise for the first 6 months and indeed assess and evaluate the impact of the program. After this, we are planning maybe different strategy. We would like to do fundraising. We are planning to do maybe some fundraising events. We're doing the raising awareness activities. So we'd like to combine eventually both to be able to raise awareness and have activity where local community and the refugee community can participate to activities together, and a means for us to do also some fundraising. We're also thinking about doing some grants and applying for some grant for grassroots initiatives, and of course continue to do fundraising on Shaft or any other platform on a yearly basis. We are also eventually thinking about membership. That could be a way also for us to sustain, to have people who, for example, have access to specific classes or specific activities when they are part of, members from Leading Lights.
Thank you, Nina. There is also a follow-up question from Epic about the follow-up support for the Leading Lights team and who's actually executing or running the program. And so maybe first, who's running or like leading the program and the project, maybe Hayat, you could respond to that. And then I think for the follow-up support, I might give this question back to Julia.
Yes.
I thought that would happen.
As previously our colleague mentioned that there are 7 refugees who are living currently in Pekanbaru as refugee. So they will run the program themselves, as they also belong to the community itself.
And when you say they, you also mean you, right?
Actually, I'm also part of that.
Yeah. I'm happy to answer the second part of the question. Same Skies is committed to supporting this team for at least another 12 months. So we will be doing another 4 hours of training and workshops per week with the team going forward. We have conducted an assessment of the capacities of the team across several training domains that our curriculum covers, and the support we will offer to them. Usually we do also visits, like field visits on the ground, and where we do intensive training with the team and work with them together on the ground. But for now, we will continue online, of course, but hopefully within the next 12 months, we'll be able to go to Pekanbaru as well. So there will be training sessions twice a week with the group, every week, 4 hours. And in addition to that, each of them will be paired with a mentor where they can also discuss any challenges, any questions they have in the implementation of the project, and get some personalized or individualized guidance and support. And in addition, we also provide some funding. We also support them a little bit financially. And I can tell you that I just did the evaluation or the calculation of the assessment we did, and the local partnerships, but also resource mobilization, sustainability will be one of the priorities in this follow-up support, and also a little bit more on the team structure, on human resource and people management, how they want to organize themselves. which are all things that we have started, and I think the team has done a really amazing job putting like kind of a skeleton in place, but of course there is much more work to do. And one of the really great things for us is we've discussed already also with the international participants on the team. They are all super keen to remain involved and to keep supporting the team of refugees in Pekanbaru, which is really nice for us to see. And of course, what we were hoping for. And yeah, but that's yet to discuss a bit further, like how this will exactly work, whether they will be more of an advisory board or whether they will have really specific roles also in the team. I think this is something that we will also continue to work on with the team. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I have a question. For those 7 refugees in Pekanbaru that will be delivering the program, what are you most excited about in the delivery stage? And is there something that you're a bit uncertain or nervous or you think will be a challenge? Excellent question. Oh, nice to hear. Fareshte, I think you may elaborate, or anyone else. I mean, anyone can answer, but maybe we can also hear some voice or you. Oh, now you're muted. Maybe you can unmute. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks a lot for the nice question. And just could you please a bit more elaborate on that to specifically understand that?
Yeah. Hello, Faritesh. The first part, what are you most excited about when you deliver, the workshops and the project? And the second part is there something that you feel a bit uncertain that might be a challenge? So really a good thing and a bad thing.
Okay, that's a lovely one, I think. Really, we are excited as a refugee to always improve, because all the world knows as some miserable people that maybe lose their hopes or something like that, but it's not exactly so. And we are full of hope and ambition. Of course, our kids, the refugee and the children ones, they're full of hope, and we are really keen to deliver them this opportunity to just integrate better in the host community, in the host country, to yes, learn more, and still in this tough situation that they're waiting to have a better future. They can maybe make their future better now. And we are really excited to help them in this kind of context. And yes, about the risk that we see, because already some of the children are already going to school, and somehow to tell it, I'm so sorry for background noise I have here. And some of them already are going to school, and unfortunately, because of lack of ability to understand the Bahasa language, they're already somehow hopeless to continue this kind of education. And it's a bit hard for us, I think, to get them back to this kind of motivation that let's continue with learning and something like that. But we are a bit, we are somehow optimistic about it. Yes, that's one of our risks that I mentioned. Maybe my other colleagues, Humaira or Reza or Hayat, which are also here, might can name some other risks. Thank you. Reza, Humaira, do you know any specific risks which are pretending?
Yeah, and also in addition to that, I can add one of our risks is like the support from the parents. It's really important for the children to be encouraged by the parents. If they are encouraged from the inside homes, of course, they will be like a brave outside as well. So we are thinking and also somehow worried about that. If they do not encourage their children, so how they can continue with their process. So let's hope for the best and see the result.
Maybe you can also share what you're excited about for starting the project.
Actually, I'm imagining the process and also the result when they meet each other, the local community, they speak Bahasa, they are fluently and they understand the materials of the lessons and also catch all the things which is taught by the teachers. I'm super excited.
Great. Team, our time is nearly up. I know we have started a little bit late, but we might have to let people go soon anyway. And we also have another session to celebrate also the conclusion of the program and everything that you have achieved as a team. But yeah, I just want to again comment also on this little remark in the chat that, of course, Same Skies is committed to supporting this project for as long as they need our support. So even when I say 12 months, that's the minimum time that we will continue to do training with them. But after that, we'll reassess the capacities of the team, and if need be, then we can extend our support in regards to training. And of course, also we continue with the mentoring on an ongoing basis. And so they won't be on their own until they really feel ready to be on their own. I also quickly want to acknowledge what an incredible job this team has done. Like, for me, it makes me so proud to see this pitch, because when some of you might remember the first pitch they did 7 months ago, I think it was all a little bit more chaotic and unclear. And I feel like you have really come such a long way. And doing all that online in a virtual setting is an incredible achievement, I feel. And I also know that many of you have had a lot of challenges in, conflicting responsibilities and access to internet and the pandemic. And, in a time where many people struggle to get out of bed at all, I think you have done an absolutely amazing job. And it's very nice to see also that so many supporters have joined us. And yeah, it makes me very hopeful that together we can get this project off the ground. And we might have our struggles, but yeah, it's very nice to see that, everything you've achieved so far. Before we let people go, I think what would be a really good idea is for the team to clarify how you would like people to get in touch with you if they want to be involved, or if they have any further feedback for you or any further questions. Do you want them to message you on your social media, or do you want to maybe share your email address, or maybe just to give you another opportunity to kind of address the audience and also say goodbye to them?
Yes, absolutely. I think it would be a good idea if we put our email address in the chat, as well as the Facebook and Instagram page. I know that we have it, that we saved it somewhere. So maybe, I think, Nina, you look very focused already, trying to help me out there. Awesome. And yeah, that you can definitely stay in touch with us, that we can also update you on a very continuous basis on our Facebook and Instagram about the latest updates, and obviously about the campaign that we're currently running on Jaft. I also saw that Mohamed, thank you so much. You also sent the link from our Jaft page, and thank you, that you can have a look there, and you can also read more about what we're doing, and obviously maybe leave a little bit of a financial support to make this project turn into a reality. Thank you so much. And thank you also for all the kind words. That's really great to read. It's very rewarding. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Mohamed and Nina, to send all the links. And I think that's about it.
Great, thanks, Jess. So I think we can let the audience go then. And for our own team, please, let's say we take a 15-minute break, and you can have a quick breather and get a coffee or whatever, or get your celebratory snacks and things that you prepared for our session. So let's meet again here in 15 minutes. And to the audience, thanks so much for being here and have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
You too. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you
Enjoy
so
your
much,
Sunday.
everyone.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Thank you.